Hello, emerging mothers. Listen, I have to begin by thanking you. Thanking you because I am never at a loss when it comes to topics to bring to you because it just seems like oh my goodness, I have either received a phone call, I have either received an email, or someone has DM'd me in reference to a question or a topic that they would like to discuss or something that they would like me to record. So I just want to thank you for just giving me all of my subject matters that need to be addressed. And so what we're going to talk about today is empty nesting. And I want to talk about this because guess what? May is quickly approaching here in the next couple of months or a few months or so. And then some teens will be graduating and then going off to college because, of course, they want to be on the college campus before the summer begins. They may be starting off with summer school courses on the campus. Who knows? Then also, some will be going off in the month of August, the very beginning of August, because classes will begin either the latter part of August. In some universities, maybe it's even September. So I want to talk about empty nesting. You know, I am picturing that those symptoms of empty nesting, and let's just talk about empty nesting for just a bit. Those are those feelings or those emotions of loneliness, sadness, those emotions of sometimes frustration because the teen has transitioned out of the home. It's typically the last teen that has yet to leave that empty nesting sets in. And so those symptoms are lots of crying, the lack of eating or the eating the lesser eating less, and then also it can be also a lack of sleep as well. That can be a symptom of one going through the empty nesting phase. I do want to mention that when it comes to mothers more so, not saying that it doesn't happen to fathers at all, but more so mothers, it happens to us as opposed to fathers. And it happens because, we have been in this caretaking role for a while. And so, whereas men, a lot of them, they tie their identity to their profession. When it comes to caretaking, us as mothers, we a lot of times tie our identity to the nurturing that we do as it pertains to our children. And when they transition out, it's almost like, or it really is a part of us who have transitioned out. And so when that happens and that loneliness and the lack of sleep and all of those things take place, then that's what could have a tendency to drift us into that empty nesting mode, if you will, or that empty nesting phase. And so it's interesting because sometimes when that happens to us, then a change takes place. Then a mother, they would have a tendency to maybe change their employment. They may have a tendency to um, avoid moving forward on an endeavor such as school. A number of changes can happen when something takes place as far as that teen is concerned. I think about when I was pursuing my doctoral studies, and my daughters were on a traveling basketball team. And of course, I would be on the bleachers and I would be rooting for them. And by the same token, I'm still writing my dissertation as well while on the bleachers. That happened for years. And when a point in time occurred where it seemed as though I'm uncertain whether maybe one of my daughters, they may have been having trouble in school, or it could have been that there was a situation in reference to them being able to handle both the athletics and the academics when they were in high school. I remember pulling back and withdrawing for about a month, if not two, to make sure that my daughters got back on track. And so that's what mothers do when it comes to those sons or daughters, and just making sure that they're okay. So I can understand the statistics in reference to mothers attaching as far as the role is concerned. So when something happens to those teens, then it's like, it could be a challenge in a sense. So what I want to do for this session is I want to talk about just 9 need to knows about empty nesting. First and foremost, there can be a positive empty nesting experience if one is able to seek support. And when I say seek support, I'm picturing creating this parent posse so that you and others who have similar emotions to yourself are able to support one another. And that's what I will be teaching mothers to do in my Emerging Mothers Evolution that will take place on March 22nd through March 30th. Those are the new dates that have been set. So that's one way that we can have a positive empty nesting experience is to seek support. Secondly, obtain optimism. You know, let's just believe we raised our teens right, and that because of that, it's right for them to transition out. We did the best we could with what we had at the time we were given. Let's just internalize that and just allow that to just resonate deep down into our spirits that we did the best that we could. So let's just obtain this optimism that we need, that we should have. Let's thirdly revive our romances with our hubbies and with, and even with, our friends, going out and spending time, not romantically with girls, of course, but our friendships, our friends that we love who are females. Let's, just spend time with them and just hang out, maybe take some girl trips or something along those lines. But especially with our hubbies, let's revive those romances. Then fourth, let's schedule that screen time. So even if it's Sundays for dinner, let's Zoom and eat dinner together with our college teens who have gone out off to school. Fifth, let's go after new goals. Back when mine was transitioning off, that's when I jumped into school and I had that goal of, pursuing that last degree. So let's do that. Then next, let's take a trip. It could be, vacating somewhere, whether here domestically or here in the States or internationally. But take a trip. Then also, why don't we seek some solo pursuits? It could be maybe something athletically, going to the gym or hiring a trainer, or it could be maybe picking up a craft, or it could be journaling, it could be scrapbooking, but something, maybe it's something that, will allow us to just spend, meditation time together, with ourselves, while we're doing something. Some people, they knit, and that's good meditation time for them. Or let's communicate with a counselor. And so I'll share this, that I was uncertain how that would all unfold when my second daughter went off. What that looked like for my third daughter, because they had a close relationship. And so we sought out a counselor maybe a couple of months before my second daughter left, to just make sure that that transition was going to occur appropriately, and that it was going to occur with the least amount of hiccups as possible. The last thing I wanted was for years down the line, then something surfaced behaviorally that stemmed from that disconnect or that separation between those the second and the third daughter. So we sought counseling. And so today, everything is absolutely amazing because we were able to deal with anything that could have surfaced back then. So, and then last but not least, conjure up some creativity. Taking an art class, maybe teach a Sunday school class wouldn't be bad. um, Volunteer to help, maybe at a youth camp. Mm, Maybe drawing is your passion. Taking a class for that. So these are some things that we can do, mothers, during this empty nesting phase. And guess what? I'm uncertain if I would wait until my last daughter or son left. I jump into it right now, or at least explore it. So let me recap, and then this will be a wrap. So first and foremost, I obtained optimism. I did the very best I could with what I had at the time I was given. Obtain optimism. Secondly, seek support. Let's create and build that parent posse. Thirdly, let's revive the romances with our hubbies. Fourth, schedule screen time with those college sons or daughters. Go after that new goal. Five, take a trip. Seek a solo pursuit. Communicate with a counselor. And nine, conjure up that creativity. Listen, I love you all. I know this will help you be your best selves. I want to tell you about a webinar that will be next Tuesday at 6 p.m. where guess what? I am going to talk about or give an overview of all of those different topics that I will discuss in my Emerging Mothers Evolution. So I will meet you back here 6 p.m. Tuesday, I believe, which is the 9th next week. So we can talk about that because I'm getting some DMs and even some text messages saying, what are you going to talk about? I want to make it. Tell me the discussion topics. I want to know ahead of time. So I'll be talking about it next Tuesday at 6 p.m. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Mask up and be safe. See ya.